In Japan, we have some of the most top-rated in-demand products. To tell you a little bit of history about Japanese products, they first started expanding their market internationally in the 1980s. Good quality products made to strict standards were first distributed in the domestic market. After product improvements were made in the domestic market, they were then exported overseas. By doing this, Japanese companies were able to beat their competitors from around the world and make high-quality products. When you think of Japanese products, you may think of shower toilets, disposable diapers, gaming devices, and such. Shopping goods for the individual person. But in fact, there are much cooler Japanese products used around the world. One example is the rails used in a railroad. Normally, we probably aren't that interested in rails when you're sitting on a train looking outside, right? But the thing is, the demand for Japanese-made rails is getting higher and higher every year. The standard weight of rails we have today is about 60 kilograms per meter. But in the future, those that weigh about 80 kilograms per meter may become the new standard for rails. And this is because we can run even heavier trains with rails that are heavier. Furthermore, heavier rails can largely decrease the vibration generated by the contact between train reel and the railway track. Right now, the rails for Japanese bullet trains are being switched to heavier rails as well. Another example of this is the Transcontinental Railroad in the US. There's growing concern about whether their current rails will be able to support the container trains, which are getting heavier and heavier every year. They are using the standard 60 kilograms per meter rails, and right now, the only option left for them is to change their rails completely to the 80 kilogram per meter rails. But building the 80 kilogram per meter rails would require highly advanced technologies and facilities, and they are unable to develop them in the US. What's more, the only companies in the world who can develop the new rails are Japanese companies named Nippon Steel and JFE Steel. This means that the rails the Transcontinental Railroad in the US is currently replacing are all Japanese made. And since the railroad is 38,000 kilometers long, we are talking about a very large-scale operation as well. Now, let's move on to Japanese cars. As for technology surrounding cars, Japan's car company Subaru has developed a driver's assist technology named Eyesight and is now expanding their market to the US. So, what is Eyesight? Well, it is a high-performance camera placed at the front of the car that scans the road for unanticipated dangers and can even apply full braking force in emergency situations to help you avoid or reduce accidents. Eyesight has been found to reduce the rate of rear-end crashes with injuries by up to 85%, and it is very popular outside of Japan as well. They have sold over 1 million cars worldwide. Now, let's move on to military technologies in the US and how they are using products from Japan. In November 2011, the US succeeded in intercepting the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile using an Interceptor Missile. And this Interceptor Missile was made by the Raytheon Company, a US industrial corporation, and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, a Japanese corporation. The Japanese corporation played an important role in manufacturing advanced parts needed for the missile that the US company could not manufacture, and many parts of the missile are Japan-made. Japan is also attracting attention in the supercomputing field. In a report published in 2020 called Top 500, which ranks the fastest supercomputers around the world, Fugaku, a Japanese supercomputer, won first place. This marked its second win in a row. And in 3 other rankings, Fugaku won first place as well, dominating the supercomputing field. And what's more, Fugaku is 3 times more efficient than the supercomputer ranked second, Summit from the US, and it really shows how advanced the supercomputers in Japan is. In the wake of this report, the Chinese media published an article about which country had the most advanced technology. And they reported that although there are rapid technological advances in China, and we are some of the top runners in many fields, we are still yet to catch up to other countries, especially Japan, in other areas. And here's what they mean. For example, in the automobile area, we have world-renowned brands such as Toyota and Honda, which are high quality and reasonable in prices. And they're also equipped with top-rated engines. And in the optics area, our cameras are widely known and used by photography lovers around the world. And Japanese products like LED lights, which are essential in our day-to-day lives, dominate the market today. Moreover, Japan has leading semiconductor industries, and most materials needed for manufacturing semiconductors, like silicon wafers and photoresists in the world, are made in Japan. It is also said that photo etching technology in Japan is still far more advanced than that in China's as well. Lastly, as for the medical precision equipment, Japan has leading technologies for cancer treatment. So, in short, Japan has the world's top-class engineers and is equipped with top-rated technical capabilities, and Japanese products are widely recognized internationally.